Good evening, viewer. Welcome to our Glory Globe TV. Here's the breaking news. Yes, the US relationship with India, the world's most populous country, is stronger, closer, and more dynamic than any time in history. Mr. Biden said at the completion of a pomp-filled state visit by Mr. Modi to the White House. The remark may not be an exaggeration. This summit suggests that the relationship has been transformed. It underscores just how broad and deep it has become in a relatively short time, says Michael Kugelman of the Wilson Center, an American think tank. A key reason is that Washington is keen to draw India closer so that it can act as a counterbalance to China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific. India-US ties had not lived up to their promises following a landmark civilian nuclear deal in 2005 because a liability law passed by India 3 years later hobbled purchase of reactors. This followed a fading commitment to the relationships during former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's second term as the leader of coalition government with Mr. Modi. There has been a lot more enthusiasm about embracing the US. Mr. Biden has also given an overall broad directive to make it work, says Seema Sirohi, author of Friends with Benefits, the India-US story. Ms. Sirohi says the US put in a lot of effort to make Mr. Modi's visit substantive and have a lot of deliverables. Defense industrial cooperation and technology topped the list. Consider these. General Electric and India state-owned Hindustan Aeronautics Limited will make in India advanced fighter jet engines for the country's indigenous light combat aircraft. This means a greater transfer of US jet engine technology than ever before, a clear sign that Washington not only wants to sell arms to India but is also comfortable with sharing military technology. India will proceed with the $3 billion purchase of the battle-tested MQ-9B Predator drones from General Atomics, which will also set up a facility in India. The drones will be assembled in India, which fits into Mr. Modi's Make in India campaign. The US supplies only 11% of Indian arms. Russia is the biggest 45% supplier but hopes to become the primary provider in the coming year. Mr. Kugelman says Washington's immediate goal is to strengthen India's military capacity to counter China. Mr. Modi wants to make in India a semiconductor base. US memory chip giant Micron Technology will invest up to $825 million to build a semiconductor assembly and test facility in India, creating thousands of jobs. US semiconductor equipment maker Lam Research will train 6,000 Indian engineers to speed up India's semiconductor education and workforce development. Also, Applied Materials, the biggest maker of machines for producing semiconductors, will invest $400 million to establish an engineering center in India. It is all about the future now. Both sides are talking about cutting edge technologies and how to seed and save the future, says Ms. Siroi. The India-US relationship has seen many ups and downs since the US seriously began countering India, first under President Bill Clinton and then under the George Bush administration. The response from India was measured, never overeager or too forthcoming. The reason was the way India saw geopolitics and its own place in the global order. The strategy of non-alignment started by India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru has always been deeply noted and rooted into India's foreign policy. India never wanted to be seen in one camp or the other, or to be seen as junior strategic partner to the global superpower. Mr. Modi has not left the ideals of what some describe as strategic altruism in Indian foreign policy. But Mr. Modi is leading a different kind of India, one which has considerably more economic and geopolitical help. He has owned the India-US relations. He formed close bonds with former President Barack Obama and Donald Trump and now with Mr. Biden. But India's strategic autonomy has not been sacrificed. Washington would have wanted India to go a step further on Russia and probably take a harder public stand on China. But the Biden administration did not seem disappointed as Mr. Modi repeated his line that this was not the era of war. Without mentioning Russia, the Indian Prime Minister did speak about the importance of beefing up humanitarian assistance to Ukraine. He did not mention China by name either, but did talk about the importance of a free and prosperous Indo-Pacific. Beyond the report, Glory Globe TV, Delhi, India.